Let's move on and talk about the floors of this bug eye as she gets a little bit lighter. And here's our old floor pan where you can see some of the scaling that I had shown you earlier was in fact perforations just waiting to happen. It was a soft floor. That was a good indicator. You could feel it was a little flexy. And here's the new pan. That's an off-the-shelf pan Stuart has cut the front half off of. That's a full pan. And we do it this way rather than just use a flat piece of metal so that you get this nice depression, which is standard on bug eyes from the factory. Here's where the prep is going on. Here's our transmission, of course. And here's the best way to work on your dashboard. Not very practical. Anyway, here's the prepped area. Now, up here you've got a cavity on the little kickboard just where the dimmer switch would go. That's that piece there. And then here's that, if you look right from the front, here's the channel. Whoops, that's where we've cut it away because the floor panel will end right on the seam at the top of your camera there, the top of your screen. And so this channel, in fact, is in nice shape on this car. Oftentimes these channels are perforated or rusted along those flanges, but we've cut away. Here's actually one small perforation there, but Stuart has cut away the spot welds in order to be able to weld the new piece right along that edge on the side, on the inboard side. And then here's the cross member that you remember, there are pedals there. We're looking up at the pedals. This cross member you're familiar with if you've sat in a bug eye. That would be sort of right underneath your calves. So Stuart will weld along that seam on the aft side. And then here's that section here that we had to cut away on the inner sill. Remember, here's the jack point. Here, in the last video, I believe you would have seen the white line. Stuart has now cut that away. And that will be seamed back in with the new panel before the outer rocker goes back over it. So there you have it. There's our progress for today. The floor pan has been cut out, prepped, and ready to be welded back in. One other piece, this is kind of neat to see. This is the insides of a bug eye door hinge right there. If you'll remember, that bottom of the A pillar had that little rusty area, and Stuart has now cut that away, which shows you the hinge just sitting there with the door closed. And there's also, yeah, you can kind of see the captive plate right about there is the captive plate that allows you to adjust the door hinge inside there. And so this is what you would see. Now you'll notice this little seam right along here. That is another place that traps moisture right on that edge, and so this is perhaps why we often see rust right at the union of this A-pillar and the rocker panel. Most of the water would, of course, drain down and sit right on that bottom edge, and I'm not sure that extra little tray doesn't make it even worse. But anyway, a new panel will be welded in there. We'll give you an update next time, and you'll be able to see how this is all coming back together again.